This video is brought to you by the Talent Transformation Guild, helping you stay relevant for the future of work, learning, and leadership.
We know that if you join the Army, you have a, well, I've never been in the Army, but I've worked very closely with the Army and different defense forces. And there's often a drill sergeant that kind of tears people down and then they build them up. And that's kind of bad in an organizational setting. You know, it's probably appropriate in the Army setting because they're trying to produce a level playing field to let everyone progress together. But in certainly the modern day organization, you wouldn't want to be tearing people down into. So their job is more kind of construction rather than destruction, and having that belief in people and that willingness to nurture, which is what you've been talking about. So I understand that you're that understanding the person is the first place and taking them to the edge of their comfort zone. But what are the guidance for kind of understanding potential, releasing potential, mentoring them so you recognize the potential, but now you want to kind of move them to that edge of their comfort zone so that they learn and then have them build up others around them. How do you do that?
Creating a ripple that's the way leaders make an impact. Each of us have 24 hours in a day. Most of us like to sleep and eat. So that takes away some of those hours for us to make an impact. The best way to multiply your impact is for a leader is through others. And, you know, every time you help build up someone else, you help someone else grow, you grow a leader, and then they grow another, eventually this thing becomes exponential. Mm-hmm. And so leaders who want to make a big impact will invest in people. There's this interesting concept that I have been trying to get my head around, and that is many people feel like you go to school, you get a degree, you get some training, you get a certification, and you're done. And now I go use what I've learned in my job or, you know, in my personal life, whatever it is, wherever it is you're applying your learning. And that's what the rest of your life is about. But the truth is, if we stop learning, let me say it this way. When you're done learning, you're done. The world is changing around us.
I like that.
Yeah. Technology is changing. Consumer behavior is changing. New generations bring new ideas, cultural changes. All of that affects businesses, nonprofits, churches, schools. And we cannot remain the same and remain relevant. The minute we stop learning as an individual and the minute that our organization stops evolving, we begin the journey of irrelevance. And if you're a leader and you look at what resources you have, you can always bring in some more technology, but the best resource you have is the creative potential. This gets back to the idea that Martin had shared with you. You know, with all the technology in place, it's taking away the jobs that are very administrative or very kind of sequential and easily reproducible by technology. And it's leaving the jobs that require creative potential. How do you tap into that creative potential? You have to develop it. And so the question that you ask is how do you go about this? And I think that you have to tackle it from a lot of different angles, but you got to meet people where they are. And I've recently been in a situation where I was chatting with a group of people individually. And in the process of those conversations, I didn't have an agenda. It was, hey, let me get acquainted with you. Tell me about you, and I'll tell you about me. And then we're kind of riffing off of each other. In the process of that, people start describing their hobbies, and all of a sudden you're hearing things like, you know, I really love doing this. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, the organization you're in has this business challenge. You have this personal interest as a hobby, but I can see that those are related. If that company could get you involved in this business problem, they have no idea. They have not connected the dots because they don't have the missing piece of information. But if they could get somebody who's passionate involved in this and then bring some learning alongside of it, then they can kind of step back a little bit and let that person go solve a problem. But without those conversations, you don't know. The answer to your question is you have to get to know the people who are on your team. Sometimes you have to go recruit for it because you may have a specific need that your team as talented as they are, they may not meet that need. So you have to go find somebody who can meet that niche need.